My name is Gary the Dino Guy Olson, and I've been digging fossils since 1993. I get asked a lot of times what's fake, what's real when it comes to fossils. So I'm going to try and put together a series and show you what things are that are fake and real, and hopefully you'll be able to decide from that if it works for you when you want to buy something. So what we're going to do with this series is we're going to delve into the different characteristics of different fossils so you can tell what's real, what's not real, and then we're going to see if you can figure that out. So if you see something, you can determine for yourself and be informed a little bit more about what it is instead of being lost. And you can't always believe the person you're talking with about it because they're going to lie to you. Some people are in this business to be deceitful, and you want to make sure that you're not going to be taken to the cleaners by trying to buy some fossil or anything else like that. And you're going to see these fossils at different shows and even in different stores in your neighborhood, in your town, wherever it might be. So before we really get into it, we need to figure out some of the terminology, because you're going to have to see and learn what some of the words are. Because just because it doesn't seem real, it seems like it's fake, doesn't mean it is. Most fossils that you find at shows are real, but they have changes to them. They've been altered somewhat, and that's perfectly fine most of the time. Sometimes there's things that just need to be fixed because you don't find complete fossils all the time. So there's things that we need to talk about with those. So some of those things are casts or reproductions, they're replicas. They're taken and they are formed from the actual fossils in a mold, and that mold is taken to make the replica. This is a cast seam line, and whenever things get poured, you end up with a seam, and that has to be trimmed off. That's one way of telling if it's a cast or not. And some fossils are actually sculpted. Sculpted means that they are taken from scratch. Somebody takes putty, some material, and they carve the whole thing and make a complete fossil from that. A lot of fossils that you'll see are called composites. Composite means that they are put together from other pieces. Essentially, you're going to have fossil bone piece from something that fits something else, and it's going to be added to it. It's easier to show than it is to tell about, and we're going to see lots of examples of composite specimens. You're going to hear about some fossils being reconstructed. Reconstructed means that parts that were missing are fixed. A lot of times cracks are filled so that they don't show up as readily. Sometimes there's just a little piece missing off the end, so putty is added to that and it's fitted in there to make it look like it's there yet. Sometimes the reconstruction gets more massive, like if you're dealing with skeletons. Skeletons of a dinosaur are missing lots of parts. So you want to reconstruct those pieces that are missing instead of trying to put composite pieces in there. And some fossil specimens are actually misidentified, which means that somebody identified it as something that it isn't. A lot of times you'll see that with teeth. They'll say, oh, this tooth is from this animal, and it's actually from a different animal. So you'll have those misidentifications. Sometimes it's innocent and they just don't know. Other times they're doing it deceitfully. So you have to be aware of what something is before you purchase it. So all these terms and a few other terms are going to be addressed later on when we start dealing with these fossils and I show you what the actual parts are. You're going to understand what it means to be composite, reconstructed, or a cast. So just be ready for that, and we'll learn it as we go. So let's get started and take a look at some of these fossils, real and fake, so you get an idea what we're looking at. Now, some people that do have these things are being deceitful to you, and I want you to be knowledgeable so you don't have any problems when you're looking at these fossils, that you understand what's real and what's fake. This is a crocodile skull. You'll see a lot of these crocodile skulls at shows and in stores because they're pretty common and popular. Usually they run anywhere from $25 to several hundreds of dollars. One of the most common things you'll see at shows and stores that's fake is one of these crocodile skulls. These crocodile skulls are totally fake except for the teeth. The teeth are actually real teeth. But guess what? Those teeth aren't even from crocodiles. They are from mosasaurs. They're not even the same animal. And all the stuff you see on top of this skull is just fake. All of it's made up. They put these things together in mass quantities and they sell them. The only thing that's real on this for bone is on the surface. They grind up bone and they pulverize it and they smear it all over this, and then they put these things together. So they put these mosasaur teeth in here and they call it a croc. Well, it's definitely a croc because these teeth aren't from a crocodile. So I hope you've gained some insight and you'll continue to follow this series. Tune into the next episode when we talk about mosasaurs. We're gonna have a smashing good time. So until then, don't be fooled.